Hey, what is up, YouTubers? How's it going? Welcome to Into the Game Design. Today, I'm going to be talking about rigid bodies, and I'm going to be going through key codes so that we can learn how to make our players move and how to add physics to it. So, first of all, we are going to I'm just going to show you. So, you're going to import, not a new asset. You're going to import package, and you're going to import 2D. So if you imported 2D, I could go into standard assets, 2D, and then we can go into sprites, and then we could drop this sprite in here really quickly. I'm just showing you this really quickly, and drop this sprite and everything, and then we could just drop this robot boy. But that's an animation. So but I'm going to be using some different assets. So you're just going to use your assets that you have available, and I just am dropping a sprite just like that white sprite that was laid out down there. I'm just dropping a wall sprite that we used actually for Trumpathon. It was a lot better when we used it in the game. And then I'm going to drop this cool little thingy, and I'm going to drop him here. And yeah, Trump's right there. We got that and that. Now, what we're going to do is we need to add some kind of physics to him. We need to add a collider so that he'll respond to physics. So since he has lots of different shapes to him, we're going to add like a polygon collider. Doesn't really do very well because we don't have too many shapes, and he's not very detailed. Not too many. He doesn't have too many pixels, so yeah. Anyways, we're going to add a box collider to our wall. So we have a box collider on this thingy. Then we have this guy right here. He has a polygon collider, and that polygon collider is just going to allow him to be able to react to physics that are put on him. And it's taking a long time to load play, but there he is. Now maybe I could show you. I'm going to make sure you're selected on your character, and then we're going to add what is known as a rigid body 2D. Also make sure that your colliders are 2D because we're working in 2D space, so we don't want to be working in anything but that. So now I have a collider on this person. We got it right there, and we're gonna move him up, and then he should drop because he has physics. He has his mass, and if I put that as like a 5 or something, if I put that as a 5, he should drop faster. He didn't really seem to drop faster. Gravity scale, we're going to put gravity scale as like a 6, just to mess around and just to show you guys. So yeah, so gravity scale. Now we're gonna put it as I don't think we can do this. Let's just mess around. Yeah, we can actually. That just reverses the effects of gravity. So, and also, if we do 0.4, that will lessen, so he'll come floating down nice and slowly, like so. Alright, so we have that. Let's just throw it at 5 again. And so we should drop down pretty quickly. Now that we have that, we need to make a new script. So we're going to go to create JavaScript. So just to quickly recap, we threw a sprite in there. This was this wall sprite, and we threw our sprite that is actually our character, and there's no animations or anything added to this yet, so we don't have to worry about that. But what we have done is we have added a box collider so that he can react to physics, and we've added a box collider so this guy can react to physics, and we've added a rigid body which gives him the physics for a gravity that's built into that in Unity. So we could just use this movement script we already have. So we're gonna go into here. Alright, so now when MonoDevelop loads, blah 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 blah. So let me explain what's going on here. We have variable, we have trump, and then when we say rigid body, this variable allows us to use our rigid body right in here. It allows us to use that rigid body. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go like this, and we're gonna grab our movement script. I should not have exited out of that, but well. and then we have this, and then we have our rigid body. Boom! We dropped it right in there into our script. We dropped our rigid body into our script. So now that we've dropped our rigid body into our script, what we can do, let's open back our movement script and let's take a look at it. So movement script's opened up. We have our rigid body, and now since it's the variable that we're using, we can say if input.getKeyDown. We could also say getKey, but if we just say .getKey, it's not going. It's just gonna do that, and it's not gonna be controllable. If we do getKeyDown, then he'll actually display. Let me zoom in here so you guys can see. Yeah. Alright, if input.getKeyDown. So that means that while whatever key we choose, which is W in this case, while that key's down, that we're going to be doing whatever is inside of our if statement. So then to call our key, we got to use a key code. We got to do KeyCode.W. We could say S. We could say space. I actually don't know how to use space, but D. So right now we're just going to use W because W is going to be up. We could even do up arrow. But for now, we're going to just be doing W. And then trump.addForce vector 2. And then, so we choose what sprite we're using. We choose what it's going to add the force to. Then we do add force. And then we add a vector 2 force. And finally right here you have the force horizontally. We have this as 0. And the force vertically. So we're adding a force. And when we press this, it's adding a positive force, which is putting us positive on if you think of it as a coordinate plane, it's throwing us positive. It's shooting it up. It's adding all this positive force, which is 1,000. And that's basically all you really need to know for save and quit. For this, now, if we have no issues, what I can do is I can hit the W key, and look, as long as I'm like clicking this, I'm hecka clicking this. He fell over. No. All right. So then this allows us to modify it. So now we can go in here. We can do 2, and that will allow less gravity, and that means that I can, by clicking it, boom. Boom. Yeah. So then you can have lots of fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was just a quick look at movement, which we just looked at colliders, and then we used a rigid body, and then we used a script that was a movement script that used input.getKey as a key code so that we could actually use our rigid body and tell it what to do.